Hi fantasy managers and welcome to FPL Team Talks. In this video I'm going to go through a free hit for game week 37. It is the last big double game week of the season. So I've gone through a selection, a whole host of players that I think you should be including in your free hit. We'll look at some options at the end and some differentials. So if you enjoy these sort of videos, please give it a like. Don't forget to subscribe. And in the meantime, let's crack on. So if you have your free hit left, I don't think there's going to be any better opportunity to take it than in game week 37. There is a chance that you could take it in game week 38, and that could really pay dividends with maybe early team news being released, some sides rotating heavily with little or nothing to play for. But it feels with game week 37 having so many doubles, it feels just like such a good opportunity to get on board with those. The side I have picked is really heavy with several sides, as you will see in a minute. I'm going to go in goal with Petrovic. Now, bearing in mind when I go with this side that it will depend on what happens in game week 36. We've got a lot of teams obviously playing with things to play for, European fixtures, the championship still up for grabs, relegation. Could be injuries as well, players coming back. So a lot of this will depend on what happens in game week 36. Petrovic and goal, the defence is really a problem. I mean, where do you go for clean sheets other than Arsenal, who do not double? So I have gone heavily and totally on double game week players, and they're the ones I think either with a good chance of a clean sheet, and that's not many sides, or some attacking potential. I've gone for Pedro Porro because I think he has good attacking potential, although Spurs not sort of ripping up anything great at the moment, and defensively don't look particularly strong. Dan Burn, I think with the home fixture against Brighton, there's a bit of a possibility of a clean sheet there for him. But again, not much attacking returns. And I do think you've got to go on top of Man City. Gvardiol, if you're worried about the minutes, I think Walker perhaps will be a little better, more security. But I think Gvardiol should be good for both those games. They are both away. Man City do have a habit of conceding a goal in almost every fixture, it feels like, when you own a defender. But Gvardiol does have an attacking threat. I don't think, given how good he's been recently with his returns, like 3 and 3, I can't see him keeping that up based on what he's done before that. And I've gone Petrovic in goal. I don't think a different combination. I mean, you could go Edison if Ortega when he was playing, then possibly that would be a good shout as well as a differential. Dan Burn, I mean, you could go Livramento. I think that's not a bad shout. Kraft would be nailed. Burn for the money, but money isn't a huge issue with this side. But I would be only playing 3 at the back because the clean sheets are just not there. You could go Arsenal. But I just think if you go in double game week players, if you go in free hit, it's just all in on double game week players for me. So you're more likely, I think, to just get a return in 2 fixtures and possibly nick a clean sheet with either of these players. Like I said, Burnley at home for Tottenham's not a bad fixture. Could he keep a clean sheet, Porro? Possibly. Then you look at the midfield, and I do like some of these picks. You absolutely fine. I've gone for Foden for Man City, and you could absolutely upgrade him to De Bruyne. The money is there to do that. I don't mind that. I have just picked Foden. I think he's probably more likely to get more minutes over the 2 games, and that just shades it for me. But I don't think there's anything in it. If you wanted to go KDB, absolutely fine. Gordon's been brilliant. Son hit and miss, but that fixture at home to Burnley, I just think looks too good to be true. On pens, Man City, just anything away at their place is just going to be a bonus for Tottenham. But they are still, such a free scoring side. Palmer, I don't think you can go without him. He's so highly owned, but it's just with the fixtures, and it's just good value for money. If you're looking for differentials, maybe Richarlison could be one. He'd be very lowly owned. Come back into that Tottenham side. Home to Burnley, decent fixture. He's down as a midfielder playing up front, so I do quite like him as a choice. Again, what you could do is you could go down the route of Maddison if Werner was back and available, possibly, or Johnson if he was back and available, but it looks unlikely. So Kulusevski therefore could play. He's another one you could go for. If you're chasing rank, players like that could be very interesting. And KDB isn't as well owned as Foden, so you could go down that route if you just wanted to go complete differential. And Gordon, could you swap him out and maybe go for Gallagher? Again, a little bit of a differential for you, but I think purely for scoring point, I think Gordon is more likely to get the points. And then I'm just going to 2 up front. I've got Isak, great fixtures. Is there a chance he'll get benched in one of the games with Wilson back? There is a chance, obviously. I don't see it myself. So I think Isak's good for minutes. And 2 good fixtures, Brighton at home and Man United away. Defensively, they don't look great. So I do expect Newcastle to score. And his record's been amazing, wasn't it? 19 goals in 23 games. He looks phenomenal this season. And I think you've just got to go Haaland up front, and you have to, I think, got to play that captain's armband on him. I can't see, even if you wanted to go heavily differential, I'm just not sure where else you would go that it's going to be as obvious as Haaland. He just looks with so much to play for. I just think that absolutely it's got to be on Haaland. I wouldn't look elsewhere. If I had to, if I thought I've got 20 odd points I need to make up, I've got to do something drastic, could you go Palmer, something like that maybe instead, or Foden? Possibly, but otherwise I think the obvious choice is Haaland, and that's obvious for a reason. Other players that you could possibly go for, you could obviously jiggle this around and go for a third Chelsea player who have turned the corner a little bit, you have to say, and up front Jackson instead of Isak if you want to be a bit more differential. That could be an option. If Gusto was back, possibly he could come in instead of maybe I would say Dan Burn, but there again there's some more differentials for you. Chalobah is another one you could possibly squeeze into the side, but that would be my free hit side, but a lot still will depend on what happens in Game Week 36 and those players coming through. As we know, flags have been a big issue in Game Week 36, even when you've wildcarded in Game Week 35. That's it for this one then, guys. Thank you for watching. Let me know if you are free hitting it in Game Week 37 and who are the players that you think are essential for bringing into that side. Are there any players that I have missed? In the meantime, we'll come back at you with a watch list, team selection, all that good stuff ready for Game Week 37. But in the meantime, good luck, take care, and I'll see you on the other side.